All right, this is your screencast for the Bellwork for Monday, March 25th. And we're going to be using a topographic map of Waynesboro East Quadrangle. I'm going to refer back and forth with the map in order to answer these questions. Okay. All right, here's the map. And like I said, we will toggle kind of back and forth between the map and our questions. Number one, what is the scale of the map? All right, take the map, come down here. The scale is in here. So I gotta zoom in a little bit. Okay, so right here, the scale is 1 to 24,000. Notice there are no units on this because it's just a ratio. And what that means is, for instance, if you were measuring something on the map in inches, then 1 inch on the map would represent 24,000 inches of actual land. If you measured in centimeters, 1 centimeter on the map represents 24,000 centimeters of actual land, etc. Okay? So let's come back. All right, so what is the scale of the map? 1 to 24,000. That means that 1 inch on the map represents 24,000 inches of actual land. Okay, so you should see those answers pop up. Number two, how long in feet is the drag strip that's located southeast of Doom? It's actually Dooms. I think I misspelled it. But Doom is towards the upper left of the map. Okay, so let's go to the map and take a look. So drag, drag, drag. Okay, there's Waynesboro. And here's Dooms. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. And what I did when I projected this on the board, I took a meter stick and I measured this. Remember, it's projected on the board. And I measured it on the projection. It was 21 centimeters. And what I would do with that 21 centimeters is I would then go down here to the feet scale. Okay? And I would put the 0 centimeters at 0 feet. And 21 centimeters put me right about here. Okay, so you would just measure the drag strip with a ruler, and then you would take that ruler distance and put it down here. Okay, remember, I was using the projected image, that's why the measurement is so big, but you would probably be doing it on a sheet of paper. So anyway, take your measurement for the drag strip, and when you put it down here, it comes out to about 3,300 feet. All right, so 3,300 feet is the length of the drag strip. Remember, the drag strip's up here. One more time, what you would do, since I can't actually show you with a ruler, you would measure the drag strip, which is right here. Take that measurement on your ruler and go put it down on the feet scale down here. Okay. All right. The next question on your sheet is actually, what is the map's contour interval? And since we're down here, it's right here. It's typically contour interval and scale are typically put down at the bottom of the map. So contour interval is 40 feet. So each time you cross a brown line, you're changing your elevation by 40 feet, either up or down. Okay. So make sure for number 3 you write in 40 feet. All right, number 3 was 40 feet again. Number 4, which slope or face of Ramsey Mountain is the steepest, and how do you know? Okay, let's flip back to the map. Let me zoom this out. Ramsey Mountain is right here. Okay, so let's zoom in on that. Notice that if I was at the summit of this mountain, it would be 2,150 feet. And if I were to walk southwest, that is the gentlest slope. And I know that because the contour lines are most spread out kind of to the southwest. Well, your question asks which slope or face of Ramsey Mountain is the steepest. So I'm looking for where are the contour lines closest together. And it's kind of a toss-up. to either say north or northeast, okay? But again, I know that it's steep over here because the contour lines are close together. I know in this direction it's a more gentle slope because the contour lines are further apart, okay? So let's go back here and get that question answered. Which slope or face of Ramsey Mountain is steepest? We said either north or northeast. And again, how do I know it's the steepest? Because the contour lines are closest together. All right, so we've got number 4 answered, and just make sure to remember, it's fine if you pause the screencast. I would rather you pause it and write the answers in rather than tune out what I'm trying to say next. So pause it, write your answers, and then we can go on to number 5. All right, number 5 asks, what mountain range is this map a part of? So let's go back to the map. I need to zoom out some. And first of all, let's see, zoom in just a tad. Up here, it's hiding. Okay, I keep moving my mouse and it keeps, okay. It says up at the top, Commonwealth of Virginia, which is where this map, this is an area in Virginia, obviously. Okay, but there is a label running right through diagonally of the map. Okay, and this is the mountain range, the Blue Ridge Mountains. I couldn't say for sure whether they are considered a part of the Appalachian Mountains or whether they're kind of considered separately, but they kind of run right along the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, so the Blue Ridge Mountains are what we're talking about. And if you're familiar with geography at all, you know that the Appalachians kind of run through Tennessee, this part of Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, that kind of thing. Okay, so this is where we are. All right, so go back. What mountain range is this map a part of? And it's part of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Okay, so, and you'll see me sometimes abbreviate the word mountains with just MT and S. So Blue Ridge Mountains. All right. Number 6, in Greenwood Hollow, there is a creek or a river. Which way does it flow? And how do you know? All right, let's go back to the map. And we're going to find Greenwood Hollow, which is right here. Let's zoom in on it. Okay. So, which way does the river flow and how do you know? From lesson 4, you learned that when contour lines cross a creek or a stream or a river, they kink, meaning they bend. You see that bend? Okay. And the kink, or the little V shape it makes, it points upstream. So this way is upstream, which means the water is flowing downstream. Okay, so if it kinks and points, this would be northwest. So if the kinks point northwest, then this stream must be running in the opposite direction, and the opposite of northwest is southeast. Okay, so I know that it's flowing southeast, first of all, because the kinks point northwest. But I also know that it flows southeast because water has to flow downhill. Okay, and for instance, this index contour line is 1200, the one above it 1400, the one above it 1600, 1800, 2000, 2200. So I know that the water is not going to be flowing uphill. It's got to flow downhill, so it's going to be flowing southeast. Okay. All right, so Greenwood Hollow, which way does the creek or river flow? It flows southeast, sorry. How do you know? First of all, we said that the kinks point to the northwest. And the second reason we know is that northwest is uphill and that southeast is downhill. All right, that is not a bell that you're actually hearing. That's the bell that's ringing while I'm recording this, so you can ignore that. All right, we have one more question, and that is, what is the elevation of Round Top? Okay, this is going to be found in kind of the bottom central part of the map, so let's find that. Again, I'm going to zoom out so I can find some things a little easier. All right. Okay, there's Round Top. Let's zoom in on it. Okay. there isn't an X at the top of Round Top, and the X is marked with a number, 1099. Okay? I have my last index contour line at 1,000. Remember that our contour interval was 40, so this is 1,000. This next line is 1,040. This next line is 1,080. If they hadn't marked the summit, then you would only be able to estimate that it's more than 1,080, but less than 1,120, because remember the contour line was 40 feet. So if they didn't have the X marks the spot, you'd only have to, you'd only be able to estimate. But they do mark the summit, and so you can tell exactly what it is. And that's 1099, 1,099 feet. Okay. For instance, over here, Turks Mountain, the summit is marked here as well. Okay, but they don't always mark the summit. All right, so let's go back and answer that final question. Okay, so X marks the spot at 1,099 feet. I hope this Bellwork sort of walks you through and gives you a little bit more practice on your topographic maps. And I hope that makes everything easier. Thanks for joining me.